and acquired it.
He does have a point. We'll need something a bit more persuasive.
I actually don't have anything.
I actually don't have anything to show.
Right. Please stop wasting my time then. I'm very
Can we
busy.
take like a picture of the... Okay, thanks.
I appreciate your time.
Enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
Can we take a picture of the dead lady?
It would be unwise to barge into Mr. Usher's office having been told he isn't seeing anyone today. We need to find a way to make him change his mind.
Yes. Okay, we're gonna leave for now. So let's see. Brentwell magazine.
Ah, hello there. Are you here to drop off an article?
No, actually, I'm a private investigator.
Yes.
My name's Miles Fordham.
How exciting. You must have so many interesting stories.
You could say that, yes.
Please, come in, come in. I'm Alan Brentwell, owner and publisher of Brentwell Magazine.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Step ladder.
Useful for getting to those hard-to-reach places. In my case, that's everywhere.
Yeah, because of the dead thing.
Confessions of a Steam Addict by Ezra Bartley. I think I'm better off not knowing.
Better.
For Whom the Bell Almost Tolled by Suki Snobs. Fascinating stuff.
Fascinating.
Empty. Too bad.
Okay, what do we have
For
here?
the publisher of a sensationalist rag, Brentwell is awfully well read. Assuming he actually has read all those books, of course.
Yeah, a lot of books. Filing cabinets.
I can only begin to imagine how many lurid and salacious articles are kept in those cabinets.
Salacious.
I can only begin to...
Okay. Okay, let's talk to this guy.
I have some questions for you, Mr. Brentwell.
Wonderful. It's so seldom I get to answer questions.
Nice. He's happy, you see? He's very happy. What about this lady?
What can you tell me about Desiree Lathan?
Desiree Lathan. Oh, why, she came to me a few weeks ago in response to an ad I took out requesting articles. She told me she had an idea readers would love. We agreed on 3 crowns per paragraph, and she was on her way. Come to think of it, I haven't heard from her in a few days.
She's kind of dead. She's kind of dead, you know?
Were you aware that Miss Lathan is dead?
What? No, I had no idea. What happened?
I'm not exactly sure. She seems to have burned to death under mysterious circumstances.
Mysterious circumstances?
Yes.
Most of her body was burnt to ash, but there's very little fire damage around her. It's as though she herself just caught fire.
Oh, that sounds positively ghastly. Oh,
She likes that.
Is something wrong?
I just remembered. The article she was writing.
Yeah.
Dear God. I hope she didn't go too far with her research.
Yeah. About, self-combustion.
What exactly was Desiree's article about?
I'm not entirely sure. She merely came to me with the proposal.
She didn't tell you what that idea was?
She did, but I wasn't sure what to make of it.
Please, Mr. Brentwell, stop stalling and tell me what she was writing about.
It was about spontaneous human combustion.
Yeah. Human combustion.
What do you know about spontaneous human combustion?
That's the thing. I don't know very much at all. It sounded interesting enough. That's why I accepted Miss Lathan's proposal to write the article about it.
But what do you know about it?
Only that it's a mysterious phenomenon in which a person catches fire spontaneously and burns to death.
Yeah.
Sounds exactly as you described Miss Lathan's condition.
Do you know what Miss Lathan's research on the subject involved?
Only the one contact I gave her, a Miss Angela Maxwell at the Spectre Society in Gascon.
The Spectre Society.
The Spectre Society, huh? Shouldn't be surprised to hear that name again.
Are you a member?
Actually, I am.
Yeah.
Then I suggest you do some research there. There's bound to be something relevant in that curious library of theirs.
Thank you. Perhaps I will.
We're going back to the Spectre Society.
Tell me about Brentwell Magazine.
We're a monthly publication focusing on both fiction and non-fiction pieces.
Ah, yes, you're publishing that serial, aren't you? The Dissembling Mechanism?
You're a subscriber! Tell me, what did you think of the conclusion? Quite astonishing, wasn't it?
I haven't had a chance to read it yet, I'm afraid.
Ah, then I won't say any more about it. My dream was to have a magazine that was well-respected and educational. But sadly, it seems today's audiences are much more interested in reading about sightings of giant bat creatures or mysterious buried treasures.
Batman.
Such a pity.
I hear you have a bit of a reputation for making your reporters do questionable things for their articles.
You are mistaken, Mr. Fordham. I don't force my writers to do anything. They seem to have this notion that the more extreme their research, the more authentic the articles will be.
What sort of extremes are we talking about here?
We had one writer who attempted to heighten the sensation of fear she wanted to express in her story. Damn near decapitated herself by sticking her head through an opening at the clock tower at St. Denis Cathedral. Ugh. Thankfully, she made it out alive. It would have been quite the predicament if she hadn't. Especially considering that was our most popular article last year. Oh, people have such odd taste.
Yeah, kind of weird. Okay, what about you?
What made you decide to start this business?
I always wanted to be a journalist. I never had much luck with any of the local papers, though. So I decided to start my own. I admit it's not exactly what I wanted, but I like to think Brentwell magazine has found its own unique voice.
Unique voice.
More like a gurgling scream.
Good
Thanks
one,
for your
Bill.
time, Mr. Brentwell.
The pleasure is all mine.
I don't think there's really anything else worth asking him about right now.
Okay, let's leave. So, let me see. I'm gonna just go ahead and save. I want to save on working. Let's just review. We got to investigate the Gascon stripper club, speak with attorney Jonas Usher, speak to Peter Andrews at the Bank of Vespuccia, find out about spontaneous combustion at the Spectre Society. And we only have the burnt cloth. Okay. Let's go to the Bank of Vespuccia.
Mr. Fordham.
Ah, Mr. Dupre. Good to see you again.
Hey, how are you?
Is all well with you?
Absolutely. Everything is wonderful. Because of you, this city has finally seen Laura Dupre for the monster she is. I cannot thank you enough.
Nice.
I suppose you're welcome?
Now then, is there anything I can help you with?
Yeah, I need
Yes,
some help.
I'm looking for Peter Andrews. I was told he worked here.
That's right. His desk is just over there.
Is this guy over
Thank
here?
you, Mr. Dupre. Lovely seeing you.
Thank you, bro.
We haven't got anything else to ask him about right now.
Okay. About nothing there. Money dispenser. Look at that. In the vault. And a clock.
What an absurd contraption. Imagine needing all those extra bits and bobs just to tell the time. I tried using one of these automatic money dispensers once, but I nearly got my arm stuck inside. They still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, impressive bit of hardware. It would take a criminal mastermind to rob this bank.
Okay, let's talk to Peter Andrews.
Mr. Andrews.
Yes?
Miles Fordham, private investigator. May I ask you a few questions?
Yes, I suppose that would be fine. Have a seat.
I'd rather stand, if it's all the same to you. Now then,
What about the lady?
do you know Desiree Lathan?
Desiree Lathan?
Yes.
No, I can't say the name rings any bells.
Huh.
You say you don't know Miss Lathan. Would you care to explain these?
Why are they crumpled up? Did she throw them out?
A little
and
bit.
why do you have them?
I just love catching people like this.
Relax, Mr. Andrews. Let's take this slowly. Now, I can assume by your reaction that these are your letters?
Yes, they are.
So why did you lie about knowing Miss Lathan?
I promised my wife I would cut off contact.
But
She
you
was
clearly
married.
didn't. The most recent letter is from 2 weeks ago.
Did she hire you?
Your wife? No, that's not why I'm here.
Ah, well, that's somewhat of a relief then.
You know, Mrs. Lathan is dead.
Were you aware of Miss Lathan's death?
What? Desiree is dead?
Yes, F.
No,
She was found burned to death in her bed.
you're lying. You have to be.
I'm afraid I'm not, Mr. Andrews.
Oh, Desiree.
Do you have any idea who might have wanted to kill her?
No, she was a marvelous woman.
Well, I'm sorry to have to be the bearer of bad news, but at least you won't have to worry about writing any more letters.
That isn't funny, Mr. Fordham.
Yes, it was. Don't listen to him.
Okay, this is not the killer.
So your wife knows about your correspondence with Miss Lathan?
Well, I don't know if you could really call it correspondence. Desiree never wrote back. But yes, Peggy, that is to say, Margaret found out shortly after we married.
Exactly how many letters did this bounder send, I wonder?
At first, I tried to make it out that she was just a friend, but she found one of the more intimate ones while I was writing it.
I see. And what was her reaction?
What do you think? I still have the scar from the glass that she threw at me.
You're still married?
Oh, yes. Margaret comes from a very strict Catholic family. They would sooner she die than divorce. It hasn't been easy. She makes sure to take full advantage of the situation, always buying herself the most expensive jewelry and spending a fortune on food for those wretched cats. I swear, they're better fed than I am.
Where might I find Mrs. Andrews? I'd like to speak to her.
Our house is at 713 Longfellow Street, just at the edge of Gascon.
Thank you.
But I warn you, it's a goddamn menagerie she's got. I'd stay away if you're averse to being covered in animal hair.
I'll take my chances.
That might be our killer. What about you?
Exactly what is your role here at the bank?
I'm the manager. I handle the new accounts, organize finance, that sort of thing.
Have you been here long?
Coming up on 17 years. Is this at all relevant to your investigation?
No.
Anything could be, Mr. Andrews. Thanks for your time, Mr. Andrews.
Okay, thank you.
We haven't got anything else to ask him about right now. Nothing else to ask him about right now.
Okay, we leave. See ya. Okay, we're getting more stuff here to investigate. So let me check a little bit here. So, investigating the Gascon stripper club, speak with attorney, find out about spontaneous, speak with Margaret Andrews. We cleared one, the one with the bank. I'm gonna save. Andrew's residence. This is like squirrels. Let's go to the Spectre Society.
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
Hello, I'm back.
The plaque says Leonora Pattinson, seer. She looks like someone I would not want to fool around with.
Yeah.
Could I ask you about some things, Miss Maxwell?
Certainly, darling.
Desiree Lathan.
Are you familiar with a woman named Desiree Lathan?
Yes, she came to see me just last week. She told me she was doing research for an article she was writing for Brentwell magazine.
What sort of research?
She asked me a few questions and looked at my books. That was all. She wasn't here for very long.
And what was she researching?
Something about spontaneous human combustion, I believe.
Yeah, hot.
What can you tell me about spontaneous human combustion?
I'm not overly familiar with the subject, but I do have a book about it on the shelf back there. You are welcome to look at it if it will help.
I may, but I'd like to know what your understanding of it is.
Well, I believe it is when the human body inexplicably catches fire and burns. It usually occurs among elderly women who drink to excess, and very little fire damage is caused around the body.
Weird.
That's really all I know, darling. It's not a very agreeable subject for study now, is it?
Well, Miss Lathan is dead.
Did you know that Desiree Lathan is dead?
What? My God, no.
She spontaneously
What
combusted.
happened to her?
She was found burned to death in her bed.
How awful.
Do you have any idea how this may have happened?
There are a number of possibilities, but if she was in the middle of researching spontaneous human combustion, and then to have this happen, it can't be a coincidence.
Are you suggesting she herself was a victim of spontaneous combustion?
One need only compare the circumstances of her death with the facts, darling.
She can't be serious, can she?
Yeah.
Thank you for the information. It was very enlightening.
It was my pleasure, darling.
Okay, where's the book? The mysteries of spontaneous combustion.
This all sounds strangely familiar, but spontaneous human combustion can't be real, can it? Then again, sometimes the simplest explanation is the correct one.
I don't know. Spontaneous human combustion is a highly controversial subject. Remains popular among scholars and aficionados of the occult and the unexplained. The term refers to death from a fire originating without any apparent source of external ignition. The fire is believed to start within the body of the victim. In 1823, book Medical Jurisprudence states the commonalities in recorded cases of spontaneous human combustion, including the following characteristics. The victims are chronic alcoholics. They are usually elderly females. The hands and feet usually fall off. And we have one hand that's missing. The fire has caused very little damage to the things around the body. A residue of greasy and fetid ashes is left behind. Most physicians and investigators strongly believe that spontaneous human combustion is a product of alcoholism. Interesting. There's an illustration over there. Weird. So weird.
I never much cared for all that mystic stuff. Why should your life be dictated by a bunch of cards?
Bro, you're a ghost.
What a fascinating device. Exactly what does it do?
That is an etherometer. It's designed to pick up vibrations from the ether and translate messages from the spirits.
A great man once said to me, Bill, you aren't going to get very far in life just staring at balls.
Hashtag
He's dead
fun.
now. But then again, so am I.
Yeah. The spirit
I
board.
think I've seen one of these before. What does it do?
It's a spirit board. We use it to contact spirits, and they in turn spell out a message with the letters on the board.
Well, I've got a message from Miss Maxwell if she ever tries to use a spirit board around me.
Don't be sassy.
That's probably the storage case for the spirit board. There's quite a few members in this group. Those are some creepy twin girls. I could see a passing resemblance to Miss Maxwell, actually.
Actually, okay, let's see. Gascon Stripper Club, the attorney, Margaret Andrews. Report to Upton and declare Desiree Latham dead, the result of spontaneous human combustion. So we already got one possibility, you see? Which I don't think it is. I think she was murdered. We talked to her?
I don't think there's anything she can help with right now.
Okay. We're leaving.
I'll be going now.
May the spirits guide you to that which you seek.
Okay, bye. So the magazine, the Gascon Supper Club. Okay, let's go talk to... I have a feeling...
Nice
this-
house. It definitely screams, eccentric person lives here. Speaking of which,
Yeah,
that must be Mrs. Andrews over there with those rodents.
those are squirrels. I think she might be the killer.
Excuse me, Mrs. Andrews?
May I help you?
I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. I was hoping you could answer a few questions.
All right then. Don't worry, my darlings. Mommy only needs a moment to speak to the nice man, then I'll give you all the nuts you can eat. My little friends just adore nuts, Mr. Fordham.
Yes, because of
Guess
the
that
squirrel
explains
thing.
why squirrels are so attracted to her.
How about you?
Do you have any hobbies or pastimes, Mrs. Andrews?
Well, of course. I do a bit of knitting and I take care of my pets.
I take it you're fond of animals?
Oh, yes. I just love animals. Most prove to be better company than people.
You got a big
Is
hair.
that right?
Well, consider this, Mr. Fordham. Animals can't betray you or lie.
Oh.
Uh-oh, I don't like where this is going.
Yeah.
My furry little companions would never hurt me, unlike several humans I could name.
Yeah.
Who are these companions exactly?
Why, my darling little kitties and squirrel friends, of course.
Cats.
Tell me about your cats.
They're the most wonderful little dears. Do you have any pets?
I have Bill.
Afraid not. My wife isn't too fond of cleaning up after animals.
Pity. Cats make wonderful pets. They're good company and are independent, unlike dogs.
Hey, dog
Edgar
rules,
and
lady.
Hubert are my pride and joy.
Cats
I
suck.
give them only only the best of everything, and they in turn give me their unconditional love.
That's delightful.
I used to have a wonderful cat named Tobias, but
Tobias.
he had an unfortunate accident.
Oh, F for Tobias.
That's why I never let my two angels out of the house.
What about the squirrels?
Your squirrel friends are quite tame.
Oh, aren't they just the sweetest? And so smart, too. When I feed them, they come up and put their little paws on my hands as though they were giving me little squirrel hugs.
Squirrel!
And the way they look into my eyes, I can almost hear them saying, "Thank you for the nuts."
Thank you for that.
Well, at least you can be grateful that it's only my voice you hear and not some rabid squirrels.
The squirrels are cool, Bill.
What happened to Tobias the cat?
Oh, I really rather not talk about that. It wasn't my finest hour.
What?
Let's just say it was an honest misunderstanding which got blown way out of proportion.
Well, now I just have to know what happened. I hate it when people tease gossip and don't deliver.
Yeah, we got another thing there. What about the Lady Lathan?
Did you know Desiree Lathan?
Not personally. I never met her, but I knew exactly who she was.
And who was that?
A miserable drunk. Always going out and getting liquored up at her so-called socialite balls. They try to make them seem so fancy and class, but it's really just a bunch of bitter old hags getting together to gossip about each other. With that kind of lifestyle, it was only a matter of time before it caught up with her.
But the death?
Do you happen to know anything about the circumstances surrounding the death of Miss Lathan?
I read in the paper that she was burned to death. In her bed, wasn't it?
That's right. Do you have any idea how that may have happened?
Well, I already told you she was a drunk. Maybe she came home plastered and decided to smoke in bed. I'm rather surprised she was sleeping alone. That woman got around, if you know what I mean.
She certainly seems to know a lot about Desiree for someone who claims to have never met her.
Yeah.
Thank you for the chat. It was very enlightening.
Oh, my pleasure, Mr. Fordham. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get back to tending to my little darlings.
I still think that our best bet, she might be the murderer, but I don't think so. I think it has to do with the will and testament. Is there anything else here? No. Okay, let me just investigate over here. Gascon, stripper club, speak with the attorney. Find out what happened to Tobias the cat. Okay, let's just go to the bank and talk to this guy again.
Mr. Andrews.
Yes?
What happens to the cat?
Is there anything you can tell me about your wife's old cat, Tobias?
Oh, God. There's a name I was hoping never to hear again.
Why?
She loved that cat. I'm sure she would have married it instead of me if she could. Mangy little bastard was always leaving a mess and knocking things over, but he was Peggy's little angel. Then one day I'd had enough, so I let him outside, and...
Yes?
The stupid thing managed to get itself killed. Then things got ugly.
How so?
Peggy got a bit carried away, and, well, let's just say I never imagined a cat could earn someone a criminal record.
The plot thickens. Or perhaps sickens.
You have a criminal record
Thanks for your
because
time,
of
Mr. Andrews.
the cat? We need to go talk to Upton? Read more about Margaret Andrews' criminal record. Oh, maybe the cat got run over by a horse or something and she just started wailing on the rider or something. Let's go over here. Then I'm going to save.
Got a moment, Upton?
Yes, but let's make this quick.
I need to know about the criminal record of Margaret Andrews.
I need some information on one Margaret Andrews. Apparently, she has a criminal record.
Margaret Andrews, eh? Give me a moment to look her up in the archives. Yes, here we are. Margaret Andrews was brought in for questioning 5 years ago in connection with a fire at a theater in Worcester.
Fire, you say?
Yes. Nothing came of it, but she was briefly a suspect. Oh, there's more. She also had a prior conviction for arson.
What?
You don't say.
The file says she set fire to a cab after the driver ran over her cat.
Okay.
She served 6 months in prison for that. This was back in 1835.
Fascinating.
Thank you for your help, Upton. This has been extremely valuable.
So, Margaret Andrews has a jealous streak and a penchant for setting things on fire. Seems a likely culprit to me.
Yeah, but it's too easy.
That's it for now.
Better get back to it then.
Yeah, it's too easy. I know how these guys think, in this game. Investigate the Gascon Stripper Club, speak with attorney Jonas Usher, report to Upton and declare Desiree Latham, return to Upton and accuse Margaret Andrews. I think this is the correct one. And the fact that this guy is not taking any guests is because he's sick, because he, set this lady on fire or something. I think that's the correct one. Okay, so the magazine, the stripper club, the Spectre Society. Let's go back here to the stripper club.
I may have more questions for you later.
I can scarcely contain my excitement.
So we cannot talk to her. Something in the Gascon Stripper Club, sorry. Let's talk to the attorney.
Begging your pardon, sir.
Yes?
Have a document from Mr. Usher.
Perhaps Mr. Usher will see me when he sees this.
Oh, what's that?
I actually don't have anything.
I actually don't have anything to show.
Right. Please stop wasting my time then. I'm very busy.
Thanks
I
for
appreciate
your time.
your time.
Enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
Seems like they've got some kind of modern message delivery service in here. Of all the things to spend your money on.
I'm gonna save on working too. We're gonna go talk to Addie. Hey, Addie.
I've managed to survive the wild streets of New Bretagne.
Seeing you come home always puts a smile on my face.
Nice.
Addie?
What is it, Miles?
Desiree Latham.
Was Desiree Latham a client of yours by any chance?
No, but plenty of the other grand dames used to gossip about her.
What sort of things would they say?
Usually they'd comment about how much she'd had to drink the night before. I got the impression she was quite the tippler. I hope you're not planning on following her example.
No, I'm not.
That would require me to burn to death in our bed.
Then I stand by my previous statement.
Yes. What about Charlotte?
About your appointment with Charlotte.
What about it?
Here's what I want to know.
Right. These are the things I want you to ask her about.
So you want me to take off about an inch, but keep enough for your curls?
Yes, that's right. You know how I like it, Adelaide.
Any new suitors caught your eye?
Has anyone special caught your eye recently?
Ha! No, I think I'm getting too old for most of the young pups I see around these days. Besides, marriage has proved to be more trouble than it's worth. I'm finished with that whole game. Although there was one fellow who came into the supper club today. Pity he was only interested in asking questions.
Yeah.
Oh?
Oh.
Yes, the dark brooding type. Sleepless nights etched all over his face. Still handsome, though. I invited him to join me for a drink, but he refused. Turned out he was a private investigator, if you can believe it.
Oh? What was he asking about?
Nothing of consequence. I didn't tell him very much anyway.
Probably for the best he didn't join you for that drink then.
Yeah.
On the dark roads of Montana, there's a shadow in the dirt, the whisper of a mountaineer in a ragged flannel shirt. He walks the stony hillsides with his mandolin in hand, but you'll never see his face around this long forgotten land.